College basketball is starting, and I'm excited. Obviously, tonight we get to see one of the hottest high school players come into college basketball. Obviously, this game is just sort of a preseason game, doesn't mean a lot, but it's going to be interesting to see how him and his teammates, his new teammates, are connecting and to see if he is really what all the hype is about. Obviously, we saw him playing with Team USA earlier this year, and people were really very impressed with him. And now we get to see him with the Duke team, and obviously, people are projecting that Cooper Flagg is going to be this year's #1 draft pick into the NBA. So now it starts now. Still very early in the game, but already Cooper Flagg has shown that he's really fitting in very well. He showed you both offensively with a great post move and defensively with his range, getting a block shot on a three-pointer early on. Just what kind of impactful player he's going to be this year. I watched earlier this week Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey play, and Ace Bailey is a guy that I really think potentially could push Cooper Flagg for that #1 NBA draft position. But he looked very out of sorts, obviously was rushing things, long on most of his shots, especially his three-pointers. Obviously defensively looked a little light in the loafers and was getting pushed around a little more, and just did not look nearly as settled as Flagg is. And to be fair, it's not even the first game of the official season yet, so it may be too premature to overthink these topics. But on the other hand, I thought Dylan Harper looked really good, a lot more settled, and probably the guy on that team that's going to really be the focal point. But let's keep watching, and we'll continue talking about this game and our thoughts for this upcoming year. Cooper Flagg has shown us exactly why he's been getting all the hype. He's a real five-tool player, able to score inside on post-ups, able to hit the three-pointer, great defensive player, strong rebounder, and what's really impressed me so far in this game is his passing. Already early in the first half, and he has 4 assists, showing that, he's going to be a star player for this team. He's going to be the star player on this team. But he's a guy that doesn't mind letting his teammates shine, right? The big man that plays with him, Brown, a transfer from Syracuse, already has 3 dunks off of plays set up from Cooper Flagg. Knuppel, Minnesota High School Player of the Year, very good three-point shooter, looks a little bit like Dunleavy, hitting wide open threes because of passes coming from Cooper Flagg. So you can see the real sort of blueprint he has on this squad, and this team is really going to go as far as he's able to bring them. And they also have some really good additions, veteran players added to this squad right now. I wonder how this is going to really affect college basketball. The fact that now you can just easily transfer from one school to another year after year, following whoever is good or whatever the system may be. I wonder how that's going to impact the NCAA, because it kind of kills a lot of the tradition that really was a strong part of college basketball. And now the players are going to be in 1 year in this squad, 1 year in that squad, 1 year in this squad, and just easily go wherever they want, just at their own whim. For young kids, I don't know if this is a good idea, but let me know in the comment section below. Do you like this new sort of way the NCAA is sort of operating, or do you think we should have stuck more to the traditional sort of foundation? First half is done. I've been super impressed with this Duke team. Obviously, Cooper Flagg is, as I said, the spine to this team, but Knuppel, great addition, very similar to that great shooter that Cooper Flagg played with in high school. So I think their chemistry is going to be instantaneously. They look good this year. Obviously, a young team, some key senior additions to the squad, which are going to be important moving forward, especially towards March Madness. But the team looks great, and I think Cooper Flagg is going to be literally one of the most dominant players in college basketball this year. I'm not a Duke fan, never was a Duke fan, but this guy really is very comparable to Christian Laettner with the kind of impact he's going to have on this Duke franchise. The question is he going to be able to win at the level that Christian Laettner was able to win? that's going to be the ultimate sort of situation for him. For him, obviously, he's going to be one and done. We can look forward to him having a great year. Enjoy it while you can, because he's probably not going to be around that long, unlike Christian Laettner, who was there for a few years and was able to build chemistry with Hurley and Grant Hill and others, and obviously develop these dynamic super teams, right? Upsetting teams I loved, like UNLV and Michigan. But I'm super excited. I'm still a hardcore Kentucky fan. I'm going to be releasing a video later this week. So if you're a Kentucky fan, stay tuned to that. We're going to be looking at the new team under the new head coach, Mark Pope. And it'll be interesting to see how well they're able to adapt now that obviously Coach Cal is no longer part of the franchise. For this Duke team, we still have the second half of this game to watch. I'm super excited. You know, as I said, I watched the Dylan Harper Ace Bailey game earlier this week when it was on, and I was kind of disappointed with just their performances. They performed ultimately like freshmen, right? And you know, everything was too fast for them. They were rushing everything. They just weren't as settled, not nearly as much as Knuppel and Cooper Flagg have been, which so far so good. Stay tuned. Obviously, you can see by the result so far, with 10 minutes to go, Duke is dominating. And a lot of that has to do with the two rookies, Knuppel and Flagg, as well as other members of the team, which performed very well in this game, this preseason matchup. But this really builds up a lot of excitement for Flagg. Obviously, there's a lot of excitement for him coming into this year. He was the #1 high school player coming into college basketball, the guy that most rankings list right now as the most likely player to be the #1 drafted player into the NBA. Obviously, there's lots of conversation about him having the kind of impact that Zion had in his first year at Duke as well, and potentially going on to become the #1 draft pick as well, just like Zion did. So it's going to be an exciting year. I'm eager to see how Flagg and his team does. Obviously, as I said, I am a Kentucky fan. They don't have the superstar players leading the team this year, obviously with Coach Cal being out the door, but nonetheless, I'm still excited to see how well they do. Let me know, what team do you support in college basketball? Are you a Duke fan? Are you eager to see Cooper Flagg lead Duke to potentially another trophy? And do you think he is going to be the player that ends up the #1 pick of the year? As I mentioned, Ace Bailey is also really highly praised and getting a lot of attention. And I've been super impressed with him when I watched him in high school this year and in the All-Star tournaments as well. So I do think he's going to go on to have a great year as well. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share.